doing and where and how we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. So that's what I want to do. And as each of you tell me one success, and I want it really brief, and one challenge, I know it's going to conglomerate into 2 or 3 focus areas. And when those 2 or 3 focus areas come out, then I want to be able to say, okay, here's our first step of being totally focused on that. Contact request, Mangala would like to add you. Yeah, okay, fine. But that, okay. And he's the new kid on the block too. And he wouldn't introduce himself. Would your efforts benefit from Premier videos and AI? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we could do all that as part of it. Okay. Yeah, we could add that to the end of it, Shannon, because that will empower every single one of them in what they're doing. Let's give you maybe 10 minutes at the end to be able to show how they can do that. Does that work for you? Yeah, okay. All right. I'm going to start with Miriam. Miriam, you have a host of projects. Give us one success.
So I almost complete my LinkedIn
Yay, that's
profile,
a big success
but
in my world.
the only part left is what I asked you. Yeah, maybe you didn't see my message.
Probably not.
I was talking about, especially concerning my work of designing products from, like, I mean the fabric to use, like reuse and something like that.
Oh,
And
okay.
so my question was like, I want to ask that, is this my point of focus? Because there's something we talk about sanitary pad, which now
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
say we are focusing. So I was saying that my question was around like the other product, like a gift. My idea was like a gift item, which they can produce easily if I design and they do. I did. I have the products. I show you some and I have more. Now I'm prepared. Now I'm busy. I'm preparing for holiday market.
Okay.
But yeah, so when in the LinkedIn, I have to show my work. That is the section I want to say there. Like, this is an example. This is my work from here to here, from this to
Yeah.
this, like that.
Yeah. Like a
So that people
portfolio.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, some a
Okay.
little portfolio, because
Okay.
otherwise they don't understand what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. Do that as a link. Results, you can put it under the results part of that. This is what I have accomplished, and you can see that that's the results that they might get. I would put it probably under there. So just put a link. This is a portfolio of what I'm doing so you can get an idea. I mean, that's essentially what you're going to say. Well, I'll
Yeah.
check back with you and look at it. Okay, I'll put an action item of LinkedIn and look and see, and we can talk about more. Okay, so what's your challenge right now is to get that in there and finished, right?
Actually, I don't have much challenge because my work in progress, and maybe this weekend I'll take the. I mean, by weekend I'll upload.
Okay,
Tomorrow.
okay. So success challenge at this point, you're overcoming that. Okay, did I see a Kiza? There's a Kiza on the bottom right. Kiza, success challenge, please.
Okay. Good evening or good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Yes. Today I have a problem of the network, so I'm sorry. Maybe the network can lost and can come again.
Okay.
And the challenges about my profile is I will suggest us to complete it in this week, but I get a challenges of a laptop because on the phone it is not Mac. So I have to look out a laptop for my friend and have a good network so that I can complete it.
Okay.
So that's only the challenges, but everything I've already put it on the paper.
Okay, perfect. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. So at least you're working on it. And a success that you've had today, like within this week?
Okay. This week, I have met with vulnerable women, 25 vulnerable women, how we are talking about how they can be self-resilient. Because I want to create something which will empower them in the future. I need them to songs about the cultural dance and the music, to dance and the songs, so that they can have their own channel of YouTube to put their things there, and maybe they can get something. They can get the market where they can send their video so that someone can support them to empower themselves about that.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, Kiza. Good. Thinking out of the box. I love it. And of course, I love dance and music.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Claude, are you with us?
Good.
Yes. Hello.
What success have
Hello.
you
Good
had?
morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. This week has been busy working on the field by spraying the vegetables, and then I have been checking my fruit trees and shade. So concerning about building, really we have a shortage of power. Even to get the power to attend a meeting, I used the power bank. But this week was fruitful, busy. Even I got any partners which will help me to train next year, already who are training a new migrant from Canada. So it was fruitful and a benefit from this week on my side.
Cool. Lovely. How lovely. So at this point, your challenge is the power, right?
Yes, yes, you have a challenge of power.
Okay. Just as a side attraction to that real quick, like Jonathan over in Uganda is working on footsteps and solar power is his issue. So he is investigating a place in Kampala to be able, that is the distributor of solar power, of batteries and that type of a thing. So he's pioneering, so to speak, going after to see if they could contribute to possibly the schools in the area or other places to get their name out there, to have better recognition so that they would have more exposure and all that kind of collaboration type thing. I will keep you all in touch as that starts to move, because solar power is something that we all need. It's always a challenge, it's an expense, it's all kinds of things. So as that progresses, I'll let you know. And it's really relatively simple to put a solar cell on your phone or wherever. However, in some major way, I'd like to be able to see that for everyone, to be able to get rid of that one. So cool. Thank you, Claude. That's great. Where's Godfrey?
Thank you so much.
Godfrey, you're next.
Hi everyone, I'm happy to be here today. My achievement is not about today, it's about this month. I had made something that I never did before with the awareness. We visited 9 primary schools and the total student we have spoke to is 28,327. This gives me a sense of having promoted safe environment and reduce scorpion stink and snake bite in those houses where those kids are staying with parents. They could easily recognize what a harmful scorpion look like, what a harmful snake would look like, and not get closer to any of those. And as it's raining currently, they could also be aware of what they could encounter around the shelters or compounds.
Yeah.
This is what we did. We have 27 primary schools around, but we only visited 9 so far. Looking forward to visit the 11 remaining next year, possibly by January or February. Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? 28,327 students. Give me a break.
Yes.
Ah, beautiful. I did look
So-
into some of you needed to have lights in your homes so they could see the scorpions before they bite, sting,
Scorpion
whatever.
does not. Yes.
Sting, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I've been there, done it. The point being, there are various light sources. Again, if we get that solar energy thing, we're going to be able to do that. And solar lights, we have it here all the time. I have one in my yard. It's a matter of having it during the day, have all the solar put into it, and at nighttime you put it in the house and it doesn't need the solar at that point. However, getting them for what? 28,397 kids is a bit hard. So we'll keep that in mind, though. I am so proud of you. What is your challenge then?
Yeah, the challenge was our mobility. Moving from one school to the other was a big challenge.
Yeah,
We didn't have resources for us to be
yeah,
getting a motorbike to take us to those locations. Sometimes we foot we go there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's right. Food and bike. Yeah, food and motorbike. Okay. Well, good to keep into that. And what you said, Miriam was working on some type of a transportation. Shannon, did you say that?
Yes, transportation. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey, I know. Didn't you say something about transportation with Miriam?
Yeah, so that's tied in with the water and food security initiative. Because if we start getting regular deliveries going from Homa Bay out to the camps using the resources that we're growing, then that includes the ability to bring crafts into the city to distribute to the global market. So the craft idea, basically, like, I'm not really focused on crafts, but because crafts is a gateway that helps the refugee camps to be able to access food security and water security, that ties all of this potentially into the same plan. So we could be having the same discussion, but we need to get there, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, Godfrey, we got it registered. We'll work on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And then are we able to have Muganuzi, Adonis, are you with us? I keep trying to get you to at least a second. There's a chance. Muganuzi. And I know I messed up your name.
Yeah.
Welcome. Tell us about you.
Yes. Thank you so much. I trust you can hear me well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm around. So, Mganuzi Mshongola Adonis, we are an organization that has been established in Uganda since 2017, and it started as a CBO in Nachival refugee settlement, and much Nachival, yeah.
Okay.
And much of what we have been doing so far has been water advocacy. And we happen to organize dialogues where we could bring the refugee decision makers on board and discuss with the refugees on the issues and think on how to solve the problems by the local resources we have, but also allow refugees to get access to the also organize like water assessment to schools. How do they get access to water, especially private schools of refugees? And we were able to collaborate with Suki 222 International from US to distribute some water filters to give access to safe drinking water for some of the schools, clinics, and public centers. This also took a good lead whereby we happened to do such kind of the local women and men that have been innovating solutions for water, like rainwater harvesting. We had to share different types of how far this can help in terms of resource to generate access to water that could help the communities, hand dug pumps.
Okay, so you're getting filters, is what I'm hearing. Makavali, refugee camp. Okay, and you're working on that. That's good. Join all the rest of them that are too. We haven't quite come up with a water solution. However, Water for the World is doing a good job in getting that started in Kenya. So as that pilot continues to grow, we will be working with that and possibly the partnership that Water for the World has with the primary schools and the boreholes. And we'll get into that a little bit later. It's kind of a constant dialogue on that, but I'm excited that you're working with that. That's great. Who did I miss? Dennis, did we talk to you? We didn't hear from Dennis. Dennis.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm much humbled to be part of this team once again. This week, I have watched two successes. One, I have negotiated with someone from South Wales who is going to empower my vulnerable kids, and his plan is to build a dream home, so that we also put a health facility so that they always get health services and they get education within one location, because he tried to ask me how am I doing my things, and I told him the way I'm doing, and he was so much impressed, and he promised me to get some other officials and come with the board. Then we present what we can, and I told him that we have 32 kids so far whom we are taking care of, which some are orphans, others are street kids, and others are just vulnerable. And he was so much impressed, and he requested me to get other people who are willing to work with me, set up this project. And he requested to make some further collaboration as we go on. And the secondary is this person whom I shared in the message in your LinkedIn. For him, is interested in a vocational training, and of which I was thinking that once we bring him plus that person of real life safeguards, we can come up with a big project that is very tangible and can employ more people. And me driving from 6 hours to work, it is better because I can afford it. I also see how I can monitor it because I'm still young, as I may say, and I'm able to work in all conditions. So secondly, this I got one challenge where I tried to open up a page on LinkedIn where we can always upload my work and people follow it, something like that. I tried it, but I failed completely. I wanted to inquire from you how we can make it, and we see if we also bring the board to like admins who are governing the page, something like that. So when people are following us, they also see the work that we are doing on the page, and they can follow, they can recommend, they can do something like that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense, Dennis. And that actually is going to fit right well into Shannon. He's going to be able to tell you how you're going to be able to do that. Good idea. Good idea. Actually, an excellent idea. All of you have organizations you're attached to, but my problem, and I'll say it, but instead of and, my problem is that you got to get your personal one going first so that I get the credibility going. And then you can go ahead and put your business one on, or your nonprofit, or whatever it is. You're going to have to maintain both of them. However, that's good because then they'll be able to see where you're going and what you're doing and what you're bringing to the environment. So that's encouraging. And we'll go to that in just a minute with Shannon on how to make that really look good. But the dream home for the kids and the education, 32, I mean, that's wonderful. Oh my gosh. So tell me more about that person, or is he actually, she, I guess it was, actually going to work with you on this, or what's the plan with that woman? Dennis?
He's he because he's from Yahweh
He.
Outreach International. Yahweh Outreach International. It is an international ministry that helps orphans and the vulnerable kids along the world. He told me that there are over 22 countries and something like that. And we talked a lot, and his plan was if I can be also part of them, and we see how we can help these kids to grow through education. And he was like, when we can get like 2 acres of land and we practice agriculture and permaculture to feed these kids, as they are also trying to solicit some funds to help them through school fees, but at least the project become very sustainable, and they see how they can also deal with other international agencies to see how to sponsor these kids.
Beautiful.
Because he tried to ask me where are they now, I told them at the moment they are in different schools, but when it is a holiday, they come to our project because we are the one who are always monitoring them, and when they get sick, we take to some government hospitals, and we see how they are living in good health. So he was so much happy, and he promised me better.
Yeah. Wonderful. Now, with the education, remember, Footsteps to Brilliance would love to be part of that plan. If you have any kind of devices, we can you can find projectors, get projectors to be put with those devices and take to the entire classroom and add to your curriculum or make it their own curriculum. So I would love to know who that group is that I might present that if they are doing this in other countries. That's what I keep looking for, is someone that wants to do this, that has the facility to do this. So please let me know who those, do you know the name of the group? Obviously you would know the name of the group, right?
Yes, I know the name of the group.
Yeah.
And their contacts and their names, and I will share them later when we are
please.
out of this meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please do share, because we could do that in many countries.
Yes, as you said, so my plan is to set up this project of primary education for these kids already. Also is coming in, and the first curriculum is using footsteps for brilliance, and that's automatic, and I will be giving updates whenever I reach, and the guys take more the guidance.
Good. Beautiful. Beautiful. We can work together. That's delightful. So you see what happens when all of us declare. All of us declare what's happening and what we wish to see. Then, as Carol said, it's a matter of others paying attention. And declaration is really, did I get everybody? I think I did. I didn't get Maria. Maria, you kind of, they all kind of know. Maria, we'll put you, and then Shannon's going to do his thing. Oh,
I just checked with Walter. That's why when my head was down, I was just checking with Walter if there were any specifics, and he couldn't think of anything specific to bring.
yeah. Okay.
The main one is the website, and that's been postponed till next week. And of course, the challenges with the tech stuff, you know, to be able to do all the things that Shannon has suggested.
He's
so,
tell us about
and you're aware of those.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Maganuzi, you got your hand up. What would you like to say?
Yeah, I'm sort of like to come up because I saw I was kicked out by the internet. I don't know if I would be allowed to add one more about winterfish because I was really out and in. Okay, thank you so much. Briefly, what I was about to say was that it's a great opportunity and a pleasure joining this discussion today. And I was saying that it happened for us to work on water hygiene and sanitation and advocating for refugees to get access to safe and drinking water. We happened to distribute water filters. We did assessments for private schools in Kivale, in Aban area, Kampala, Eastern region. But also we have been training teen mothers, women, on economic empowerment. We had even given them some courses of English for adults for them to learn on how they can still engage into the markets to sell the little they do. And part of it, we have been also teaching them on personal initiative trainings, how to start something that can be a source of income. It's part of entrepreneurship. And so far, we train them how to be future-oriented, how to overcome the barriers, setting goals, and also how to plan for their finances, how to plan for little activities, and seek for feedbacks, how people do appreciate what they do, what they are offering the community. This part of now, we are designing and we are looking to work with the level of how we can involve the ideation. How can we train now, deepen our program on from the ideation? In the ideation, we are looking on system designing. How the refugees can become self-reliant, because the current crisis that is now, whereby they have been depending on aids, which is no longer the same in the ecosystem of humanitarian services. So we are looking how we can build the resilience of refugees, youth, and women. And so far, we are now collaborating with the IAN organization. IAN is African Youth Action Network. They have their centers in Chaka, in Rhino Camp, and Kuriandongo in Kampala also. So I happen to train some of those women farmers on entrepreneurship. So we are looking to collaborate to see how far we can take from ideation, incubation, and pitching, how these fellow refugees, women from their language can pitch about their business ideas, or how can they scale already started business in order really to develop the level of self-dependence and economic freedom. So we have been looking to this level of aids. It is really good, but in a more formal way, how can we enforce this level of self-resilience and build the capacity of fellow women and men, especially youth, on driving solutions to the problems that are within the community. And it's where we are looking on social impact for job creations. So we are looking for, so far, in different domains, water, because it has been a very big challenge. How can young people innovate from local tech? It's where we are looking, how far can we involve the technology ability? But I want them to reflect to the problems within the community. So briefly, that's where we are standing. We have a challenge of operational supports. We have training machines, sewing machines that are there, but due to the high rent in Kampala, we are failing now to establish a center where these other women interested in tailoring can come and learn, because in Athi Valley, we're no longer much involved in that, but we're looking to set up through these other centers and how we can collaborate to implement such kind of projects. Thank you so much. I think that's briefly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's a lot to digest, and I'll make it quick. You've hit a lot of the areas that, first of all, the most obvious to me is you are familiar and working with YEA. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's an answer for your women. We have, like, for instance, the McKenna Center in the refugee camp that people get together, 6, 8 of them, and are listening and watching through one TV screen or one computer screen. I guess it's a TV, to be able to get the instructions. Now, next Thursday is the last of the YEA introduction courses. And then she will start on the 20th, and the latest is the 18th to be able to register. So as far as empowering those women, if you can get them to a computer or to some device, it seems to be a wonderful first step. And then also, I would suggest, and I don't know that you were there this morning, but on next Tuesday, this is a perfect place for you. Next Tuesday, my Global Impact Network will be on entrepreneurism and employment. So at your time, which is 1900, which is 7 o'clock in the evening, please join us. I'll put that in the chat, because that will give you more insight on what's possible for those women. And you fit into the criteria with all the people on this screen, is empowering the women in getting the sewing going and evolving in all different kinds of ways. And the African Youth Group sounds wonderful. When you can attach yourself to a group like that, you really have it made, because then you can grow together. It's a beautiful collaboration. So I'm so glad that you're with us. And there's a lot to be done together, but I would suggest next Tuesday, join us. And again, I'll put it in the chat. However, in the meanwhile, one of the most important things of what you're doing, besides your LinkedIn presence, is to let the world know what you're doing. Now, that sounds relatively logical and somewhat simple. However, people pay attention when they can see what you're doing. And you can't just say, world, here we are. You have to do it in a way where it's practical and gets a very clear message on what it is that you're doing, clean and concise, and to see it. So Shannon is going to brief you on ways that you can actually have more visibility, either on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever you want to place it. Shannon, is that appropriate as an introduction?
I mean, sure. Yeah. So, I mean, YouTube and LinkedIn and all of the different things that we can access online, these are all parts of the ecosystem that we all have to learn in order to be effective advocates in our causes, in our movements, in whatever it is that we're trying to do. So I'm not really specifically focused on the refugee camps, but everybody is struggling with the communications and connections to reach the people that we need to support our cause and to support what it is that we're doing on the ground. What we're starting to really focus in on is that the coordination connections that are needed to happen in order for there to be reliable communication and coordination with other groups like ours remotely. We need to really focus on making sure that you guys have the capacity on the ground to be able to make those connections reliably. That means power, that means reliable internet, That means a place to gather that you can depend on. And that means access to computer workstations so that the women and the children can actually get hands-on access to the tools that we're talking about them using to be able to talk about their story and to share the story of the communities. So Muganuzi Adonis, this is probably something that's particularly interesting to you coming from an existing youth organization, because having access to those tools that are freely available around the world only happens if you have the hardware that allows that connectivity. So we're focused on creating a crowdfunding exercise really aimed at diaspora supporters, basically our families overseas and around the world, focused in on this connectivity aspect. We're looking at getting solar power that's reliable with a backup battery, talking about having a reliable space that's for rent for, like a year where we can really rely on the future, having a decent webcam with a speaker so that everybody in the room can hear what's happening. These are the basics. And until we have this, I'm listening to Dennis try and introduce himself on this call as a perfect example. If we don't have that reliable connection, and if we can't depend on being able to have these conversations, we're not getting anywhere. And we're just spinning our wheels and we're continuing to get frustrated in not making progress. And it's all tied to the communication and coordination aspects. So that's really what I'm focused on here in Kenya, not only in Homa Bay and Sori Village, but also in the refugee camps. And what my suggestion is for other groups that are operating in Uganda, in all over the African continent, or even in other areas around the world, look at what we're doing and see if you can pattern these templates to really get an understanding of what it is that you can have the conversation about equipping your own community with. And so we're going to be sharing, courses on how to put together a YouTube channel. We're going to be sharing, little snippets and workshops about how to create the initial connections with different social media, how to create a calendar that automates posts so that you're not constantly online trying to do everything yourself every single day. A lot of these things are going to make our lives easier and are going to keep us from having to grind so hard to be able to do the things that we know need to be done. So a lot of this conversation that I'm bringing to the table is really going to be about that hardware capacity. I'm going to be leaning into my experience and background as a nightclub owner. I used to put together audio video systems and computers for a living, so I can walk you through how that build works in your lived experience. And what I'm doing right now is creating agentic AIs that can actually help to walk you through these situations on the ground in your language, through your lived context, and that can actually help you research where to get the materials in your area. So a lot of the crowdfunding really has to do with coordinating that on the ground expertise. And we're really having that conversation at a high level with the folks that are leaders, that are key leaders in your communities, about how you can integrate these solutions in your area. And that way we can really be connected at a higher level. We can share resources, we can share strategies, lessons learned, wins, everything that we learn, we can basically commonalize that and create a curated resource that we can all tap into. That's the goal. That's the brass ring goal that we're looking for.
Okay, so what would you suggest would be the next step for them to be able to learn all of that?
The immediate step, I'm going to share a little helper, like an online AI helper that everybody can use to just put in like the dimensions of your room. If you have a community center that'll loan some space, if you've got a church that has a basement that can be used some days of the week, if you have a community resource that's existing, or if you don't have one, what are the rents in your area and what is the space that would be appropriate for getting, say, 20 to 30 students in a room working on the same projects and really learning from the tools together? Because that's what we're looking at. And then in between classes, we need a hangout spot. So, maybe a coffee machine, maybe something that's welcoming, a couple of bean bags so the kids feel like this is a comfortable place to hang out. So the women feel like this is a comfortable place to hang out. And then that ends up being a community area where creativity flows and where you get a lot of that support that you need as a community leader. So the goal is to be able to get creative output, to be able to get stories to our families overseas so that everybody understands this is what we're doing on the ground. This is the project, or this is the progress that we're making every day. And that communication is what drives more and more support, because as people understand what's going on, they want to support these strategies more and more. And so when we start talking about water security, when we start talking about education for kids, when we start talking about the need for, for basically having self-capacity, like Muganuzi was talking about self-sufficiency and capacity in the community, that's the ultimate goal. And that the path to getting there is multitude. There's lots of different ways to get there. but coordinating and understanding what's working around the world and what can we use in our own community, that's the key. I don't know if that answered your question.
Not really.
Wait, what's the first step?
Yeah,
First
by the
step is
way,
getting Starlink. Like literally
yeah, amen.
getting the
Starlink
equipment
is
in
first,
place,
right?
getting a computer, getting the actual access, a reliable laptop. Like these are the basics, and you can't coordinate without them. That's what we're
Yeah,
learning.
really, that's what we're deciding it from all angles, is to be
Yeah.
able to do that
And the
and to
cool
be
thing
able
is
to afford it.
this is a conversation we can be having with schools, though. This is a conversation we can be having with aid
Mm.
organizations. And once we help them understand that this is the direction that we're pushing, we can get support from these organizations, because this is something that makes sense. It's something that's evidence-based. It's something that we can point to from an academic and from a
Mhm.
science basis. So that's a lot of what we need to learn, is how do we approach these organizations so that they understand in their language what it is that we need as a community.
Hmm.
So Trip thinking of it that way, but really we have to be able to figure out how to translate that need into the aid giving organizations, the funding organizations, the academic organizations, the government organizations, your own government, the community leaders that you're working with. That's a lot of it.
So if we were to take a generalized look at all of these groups, can we come up with a formula, a template that would, even if we did a video, which you know how so simple in that notebook, that says, and they do it so simply with what, 5th grade level?
Mhm.
Is just the progression of what you're doing and where you're going. That would be the first capsule, so to speak, with photos. Now, in the chat is the videos, our videos from, what was it, Dennis? Join us Tuesday. It was, well, yeah, no, it was Moganuzzi. With the year in Africa. They have all kinds of things on YouTube. So they've already got a lot of video type things to put into it. So as an action item to clarify where these groups are going, what they're doing, what can be the sustainability model. Is there anything that we can give these people, Shannon, that can help them to start to build that as a projection out to the world?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So what I'm uploading right now into the chat is 3 videos that I created from all the source materials that we've been developing. And each one of these videos walks through a different aspect of what we're dealing with from perspective of, oh, this is kind of the subject matter, and then it talks you through and it helps you understand what that subject matter is from multiple different levels. And so what we're so on one level, yeah, what we're doing is we're producing these videos and we're making it very easy to explain this in different languages and different lived experiences so that people can understand what it is that we're doing. But the bigger picture of what I'm actually sharing is I'm sharing the coordination capacity so that everybody on this call understands how to make these videos.
Right. Right.
That's the key, because this is all created with free AI tools. This is all Notebook LM. So when people that are on this call understand a free account and I can put these source materials in, and now I can create a primer in English and Swahili in all kinds of different languages, that this is what I'm talking about, and here's the graphics, here's the video, here's the pictures that go with it. That's the process that we really kind of bring people along on this journey with us using. And so yeah, what we're going to be doing is basically like what I did a couple of days ago, is we get a bunch of people in a room. Here's what the account looks like. Here's the process of signing your Google email address into it. Here's how you create a new notebook. Here's a PDF you can drop into it that's got the whole backstory. Now you're starting to work with something that's not a blank slate. It's something that's customized to what we're doing.
Okay, let's
So
do this.
that's really the thing that we're working towards, is for everybody to understand what these tools can do and how to plug into them.
Okay, let's do this. For next week, I want you, what we'll do, if it's okay with you, Shannon, can you have an introductory? I mean, creating the video was such a piece of cake. I was just astounded when it took me 20 minutes to
It's
create
not
the
hard.
thing.
Yeah.
So
the bigger-
everybody, yeah, everybody bring, does that make sense? Bring, what would they bring? They could bring an overview. Everybody has an overview. Does that work?
So I've got a pitch. I've got an ask for everybody in the group.
Okay,
So in the WhatsApp, I'm sharing the link to RIA.earth. So Regenerative Impact Alliance is the nonprofit organization that I co-founded. We
Okay.
recently got our 501c3 status, which means that we can now accept donations on behalf of specific projects. So
Right.
what we're positioning RIA as is we're going to basically be the donation flow through for these projects on the ground. So this first project is Homa Bay Sori Village. We're going to get them geared up with the equipment that they need. Then we're going to do the refugee camp. Then we're going to do the refugee camp in Uganda. And we're working our way down the list of the organizations that are involved. And as we start growing more and more funding, then we're going to go from just the coordination equipment to the emergency water access. And then we're going to go to the aquaponic system, and then we're going to go to the full systems. And we're going to start developing this market step by step by step. The
Okay,
first step
so-
is communication coordination, but that link that I just shared,
Yeah.
that's where anybody that's interested can flow resources, and this is going to go towards this project specifically.
So what do you want them to do is to look at what's there and to tell them a task.
Share the videos that I'm sharing.
Okay,
And so that helps people to understand. You can share the images that I'm sharing. So I've actually got a mock-up of Sori Village with the water protection system in place. So we've got I showed you the pictures yesterday, so we're going to share
Yeah,
a couple of
yeah,
those.
yeah.
So this is starting to help people get the tools of how to share this story and how to talk about it. So we're going to share the service strategy, the FLS and the RIA, like the backstory, so everybody understands what these nonprofits are here for. You know, just the real basic stuff that's going to
Yeah.
get people started and get people understanding what it
Okay.
is that we're working towards together. Because the idea is we're going to approach this as a coalition. It's not going to be just Kenya doing Kenya things and Uganda over here doing
Yeah.
Uganda things. We're
Yeah.
all working towards the same goals of
Okay.
waste to value, consistent security and food access, clean water access, and women's empowerment. Those are the 4 priorities they're aiming towards. And communication and education enfolds all of that.
Okay, so you see in the chat, save the chat. Go up the top right in the little
I
dots
just
and save the
reshared
chat.
it all in the WhatsApp.
And put it in. So which WhatsApp did you put it in? Because we have a refugee and we have a water and we have a water for W for W.
I
So
put
this
it in the refugee cohort.
refugee, okay.
Yeah.
Refugee cohort.
And we just got this link established yesterday, so this is brand new, by the way.
Let's see, refugee
Um,
cohort.
Shannon, can you
Yeah.
just say those four areas one more time, a bit more slowly, please?
Yeah, so we're talking waste to value.
Waste to value,
Waste to value, so that's turning food waste and agricultural waste into valuable add-on components for farmers. So
Yep.
reducing irrigation needs, increasing drought resilience, all of the benefits of that component are folded into that waste to value component. Then you've got
Okay, waste to value, that's the first one, and then
you've got consistent access to clean food and water, healthy food and water.
consistent access to healthy food and water, okay.
And then
And then
the third one is market development.
women's
So-
empowerment,
Well,
sorry.
women's empowerment is the 4th one. That's the top one that drives all the rest.
Oh, that's
of
the
it.
top one, okay. What's
Yeah,
the
and
one
then
in between?
So what did I say? So waste to value. You've got
Waste to
consistent
value,
access.
consistent access to healthy food and water.
This is our alignment process. It's messy. So so women's empowerment, and then the last one is market development. So understanding how to grow this as a market so that it's consistent and so that it's sustainable and so that it has sovereignty over time.
Okay.
And then education enfolds all of that. Education and communication and coordination is the vehicle that folds all
Is
of
the
it.
thing that brings it all together.
Yeah. And we can flesh this out
Education.
as a mission statement.
Yeah.
We can flesh this out with some
Yeah.
bigger support on that end. But yeah, that's the basics. And as long as we all understand the through line of what we're doing this for and where we're going, then it doesn't matter what your particular goal is. We can basically get there together, and we can grow this market, and we can grow this solution together. So I'm here for
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I'm getting contacted by the Congo as well.
Yeah.
Are we including?
Oh yeah,
Can we include them?
Jackie, what's his name, Bruno, in your gym
Bruno?
network is also in the Congo or
Bruno,
Rwanda.
yeah.
I can't remember which.
Yeah, with gorillas. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've got all kinds of connections. Some of them are on the farming side, and they're not even over on this side talking about the refugees.
Okay, so I just had a communication from Chris. I've asked him to put down what his situation is with water. Just prior to this meeting, he wanted to speak to me.
Okay.
And I said, can you just let me know what the problems are? And he's from the Congo.
And Maria, just remember also that the waste to value component with the humus oil, that also has to do with water. Because
Right.
it's because
Yes, that's right.
any amended land that you put this topsoil on is reduced in the amount of water that it needs to grow crops.
Yeah, I remember that from the other meeting. Yes.
That's huge. And people don't really, it's hard for people to wrap their heads around that because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's usually something that governments talk about, but we're going to talk about it down here on the ground.
Okay. So in the chat is the invitation to join the refugee WhatsApp if you have not done that yet. In that WhatsApp for refugees will be the link and your home play, so to speak, between now and next week will be to look at the videos and the links that Shannon has put there so you get an idea of what can be done to incorporate your group into this publicity to be able to drive your needs. It's that simple.
The goal
Really?
is everyone's got family, and diaspora lives everywhere.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's people in my neighborhood, in my community that have family or are from Africa and from Southeast
Okay.
Asia and from South America. And if we can start really aligning our messages so that the global community can understand, oh, this is the direction that we're kind of collectively taking, and this is why this makes sense. And these are the
Okay.
steps that we use to get there. Like that's how we
That's
have the
the whole
conversation.
thing. Yeah. Miriam, real quick, go ahead. I have to go to the dentist. Make it fast.
Yeah, I have a question about the people who have a sewing machine or the project, this craft. It's always, I heard from these leaders here, they talk about women empowerment when they refer to craft. What about boys, youth, the men?
Good point. Good point. Excellent thing to ponder, Miriam. You did it.
Yes.
You got our little brains going.
Well, no, and what
Thank
she's
you.
saying also is really key because women and youth typically hang out together. And so if you're engaging the youth and they're not just sitting around playing or wasting time and they're actually part of the process, then that's going to make the women's lives easier because now they've got support, they've got help, they've got, you know, their kids involved. So I love it.
And there could be organizations that would support
like
the sewing machine.
B-Man. Yeah, could be a good one on that one. Godfrey, make it fast. I gotta go have a tooth removed. Go.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not that I want to, but I gotta move.
Yes. That's the reason why I initiated the drawing class for boys, so that they might focus on constructive way of drawing. Yeah. We don't forget them.
Yes, no, you're right. You're right, Godfrey. That's cool. I love it. Okay, we're going to have to stop because I have to go get some lunch and go get my tooth out.
Yeah,
so,
good
okay.
luck.
Yeah, thanks. Very productive. Thank you all for being here. This is amazing. I did record it. I'll put it in the WhatsApp and so that you can keep track and go ahead and look at the videos, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Okay, well done,
Save the
everybody.
chat. Okay,
Thank you.
take care.